So there's a lot of wannabe celebrities out there on the internet, and every time I see clips about them being like public nuisances to just like regular people, kind of ruins my mood for a little bit. And so in response to that, most of you would probably say, then why do you really watch these creators or those clips of them? Well, the answer is really simple. I want to see their teeth get knocked out, hopefully someday. And boy, do I have the streamer that got the karma that he deserved, especially from my fellow Koreans. Now, in my personal opinion, in terms of shittiness at least, this guy is even above the likes of the cheesecake of a little baby man, Jack Doherty, and the shit stain of a person, Neon. This guy's name is Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali is a wannabe streamer who does IRL content, essentially being a nuisance to society in general. And recently, he's been on a tour in Asia where he would just straight up bother people, like screaming like that gopher meme and breaking beer bottles in public. Like, this is a full-ass adult acting like a toddler, and I'm willing to bet he wears a diaper because he can't be bothered to wipe his own ass. If he does wipe his own ass, it's probably on other people. But anyway, that's his whole shtick and everything, and every time I've heard more recent news about him, it really just puts a smile on my face. So after getting out of Japan with a slap on the wrist, he thought he could pull the same shit in Korea. Now, while the Japanese may be polite to everyone that they meet, I mean, as long as you show them some respect, Koreans love holding on to grudges. Hell, there was an entire drama based on someone holding a grudge for like half their life. So what did baby boy Johnny do to piss off the entire country? Well, besides being an absolute jackass to innocent people, especially the grandmothers, you don't fuck with grandmothers in any country. He did one thing that was an insult to Korea's history. He gave a statue a lap dance. Now, first of all, getting a lap dance from someone who looks like he's made of sticks doesn't seem all that appealing or enjoyable to anyone in general. I mean, I swear, bro, the moment he twerks, I feel like I'd probably hear this. But that's not important. The important thing is that the reason why that statue is such an important thing to Korean history is because of what it represents. This statue honors the poor women and children who were taken from their homes and trafficked into sex slavery, essentially, by Japanese soldiers during World War II. If you want to learn more about this sad piece of history and also why many Koreans still hold some grudges against the Japanese, I suggest you go look it up and learn more about, sad stories that you're going to hear from, the woman the statues that were made for. And I hope that after you guys research that more people come to respect this statue than defile it. Anyway, with that out of the way, why does recent news about this lobotomite bring me such great joy? Well, after people saw what he did to these statues, the Korean people basically put a hit list on him, and a lot of different citizens basically went on a manhunt for him. There was even a bounty for him. This man was not safe. What he also doesn't know, because he doesn't bother doing any kind of research except for how to get my ass stretched out by every living being possible, is that almost all the men in Korea have undergone or still undergoing military service. So this termite is literally being hunted by a country of soldiers. Now, while I don't condone violence against other people, at the same time, there are quite a few people out there who deserve a smack in the head to, set them straight, The most famous clip I've seen was that Johnny got jumped by someone who was formerly in the Korean Special Forces, specifically the UDT, Underwater Demo Team. And I swear I've watched this video like 100 times because it just brought me so much joy and euphoria and pleasure to see this cocky roach get pummeled into the ground. Now obviously the cops had to intervene because if this dude went any further, Johnny would have had to go to the hospital, and I don't think those cops wanted, Korea to waste those resources on Somali. So yeah, this guy was sadly put in jail for a bit, but his followers and many other Koreans raised money to bail him out, give him some extra cash. It was like a couple $1,000, I think, in terms of USD, and a 5-star hotel saw this incident and gave him a free night stay at their hotel. Man, karma really does exist in this world. But yeah, this hit list went on for a while. I don't know if it's still going on today, but it just made me really happy to see this guy getting chomped like at every single turn. Like he has to be looking like behind him everywhere he goes in Korea now. What's even better for me is that he's also not allowed to leave the country because the courts plan to sentence him to jail. And as of me recording this video, so far his sentence is around 7 to 15 years from drug and assault charges. And I was actually a little surprised that that was all he got for drug charges. Korea is known for being super up the ass about drugs, even for vapes that are like above 1% nicotine. Now a lot of Americans would think, but something like weed is such a small drug, you shouldn't get in that much trouble. Also, I'm not saying that, Johnny got caught with weed, but, again, we're really up the ass about that. Because something as, quote unquote small as weed could get you a minimum of 5 years in Korea. And if you're a celebrity, your time in the spotlight is more than over. Anyway, Johnny has fucked up even more before his first court trial. And well, that's because honestly, I don't even think this guy's got a skull, much less a brain in his head. At most, he's got like cerebrospinal fluid like floating around in his head. I don't fucking know. And on top of that, he's also penniless at the moment because, well, he's been banned from like pretty much every streaming platform out there. I mean, he's also just not allowed to stream at all because, well, he calls his career or his job as a streamer. But, I mean, also, who watches this guy? But it's because he doesn't have a work visa. He has a visiting visa. But this dumbass somehow find a way to stream, and he streamed himself drinking and throwing up all over his friend's place the night before his court date. He then proceeded to further disrespect the courts by showing up hungover, wearing a MAGA hat and an oversized suit, and then bringing a large bottle of water which he's not allowed to have. Like, this guy really must have thought that everything was still a joke despite getting jumped by like, I don't know, 5 different people, being in an actual courtroom and also being trapped in a country. I really wish I could have seen his face when he got this sentencing because I am praying that his face went white. But what makes this news better for me was that he and his lawyer are unaware that there were more charges that they would address at his second court date, so I hope he has to spend most of his young quote-unquote life behind bars. As of now, he's still trying to livestream and is still an absolute nuisance to the people around him, but his next court date has been delayed to May 16th from April 9th, and I think what the courts are doing is that they plan to add extra charges on him based on the evidence that he is creating himself through his own videos. From what I'm seeing right now is that he's super fucking desperate to get out of Korea because of the way he's being treated, and also he's trying to apologize and make up for his fuck-ups. I mean, at this point, if I was in Johnny Salami's position, then I would learn to accept my fate, go to jail and learn my lesson, get my booty hole stretched out because that's gonna happen in prison. But anyway, what do you all think of this garbage dump of a human, and what do y'all think about his sentencing so far? In my opinion, I think his sentence is too light. We should give him life because that's the only life that he's gonna have. But yeah, anyway, let me know what y'all think in general in the comments below, and if you guys like this video, click that like button, and if you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe, I guess. But till next time, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.